So, Ashley, we have Ashley all the way from Mexico, and I'm not even sure where you are. I know everybody, I feel like they say they live somewhere, but COVID, we're not sure where anyone is. Where are you?
That's exactly right. So Austin based and kind of roving about to get ourselves rerouted into a home there. But yeah.
Oh, I love it. Well, we're so excited to have you here today on our Natural Beauty Chats little recording moment. But I don't even know how you two know each other, because I know it's been a while. I've known Ashley for years and gone to Baja stuff, but she always has these cool new entrepreneurs that she's like, I know them from wherever in Austin.
Yeah, well, I think Ashley and I were recounting earlier. I think that it's been probably over a year or two since we've gotten to see each other, but our friendship started with our dear mutual friend Cynthia, yoga ATX yoga girl, and so we are connected by that lovely spirit, which is always a fun way to make new friends.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm not entirely sure the first time I met you, but I think it was at least one of the first times that I met you was at an event for Kendra Scott. And
yes,
it was with a nonprofit. I forget the name of it. It's a really cool nonprofit. It's like for kids and mindfulness, and they have like goat yoga, but they had at this particular event, they had people doing like aerial yoga, or I don't even know if it was a part of the event or if they were just there, but I remember like I had a booth and was randomly like got caught up in the aerial yoga. And then I just remember meeting you, and I remember thinking like, of course, Cynthia introduced us, and I just remember thinking like, wow, that girl has like such good energy. Like, I think I want to be friends with her.
Yeah.
This is before I even knew about like mindful marks or like anything that you did. So yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I love the memories.
Yeah. So you started LumenKind. Am I saying that right?
You got it.
Can you like tell us a little bit more of what it is exactly? Because I know, because I was like looking on the website and have heard about it from Ashley, but yeah, I'd love to know more of what it is.
Yeah, well, thank you for asking. And I'll tell you, in creating this, they're sort of thinking about, I guess we're coming up on 4 years since we first went live. So that's like, meaning I was thinking about it probably 6 months to a year before that in the creation phase. And, LumenKind was created first as a product, a mindful mark, a tool to help me and others remember their intentions. Because, we all get into a very busy day, a very busy moment, the chaos of whatever may be. And so I created a little product, little wearable reminders. So you'll see them on here that help recenter you, that have a process for bringing them into your life that allows you to choose an intention. And then when you set your intention, they're little temporary tattoos. So you're able to apply them, taking 3 deep breaths. And then they're there to remind you to pause, to reconnect with whatever that intention is. So that was the first kind of space for that. But what I realized in creating LumenKind, yes, there's the mindful mark, there's the product, there are these cute, tiny temporary tattoos. And I think that what I've realized is that it's the experience around mindfulness and intention setting and inviting people in a really micro way to take a deep breath, pause, reflect. And then ultimately that has given LumenKind, I think, even a deeper breath of our mission. And what we're doing is really about helping people take that deep breath, bringing more peace. And so, when people ask, what is LumenKind? It's like, you could say, well, it's this, it's a temporary tattoo company and it's about intentions. And we do like temporary tattoos, and they, we call them mindful marks. But what I've realized for me personally is, because I'm on this journey, and for all of the people around the world that are with me in this right now, you guys included, that it's really a whole lot more. It's about the experience of mindfulness and knowing that you can do it in these little moments. It doesn't have to be a big old 20-minute or weekend long, thing. You can so that's a long answer to a good question.
No, I love it.
Love the long answers.
That's really beautiful. So wait, how long do they last, the tattoo, when you put it on?
Well, so I often get that question, and what I have learned to answer for myself and others is as long as you need it to, because there has been tons of experiments personally and of other people. What I know is that they tend to last a day or two, probably three at minimum.
Okay.
If you're not, if you're putting it on fresh skin and you're not putting oil and getting all the potions on it. So watch out for your Baja basics. I kind of get mine around.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
funny.
so that's typically it. But then, they wear off, just like intentionality wears off. Like once you make a charge and you create a commitment in your mind, or you get really rested and nestled into something, it'll fade after time. And so that's why temporary, everything is temporary. So these marks allow you to have a secondary reminder of like, time for me to like recommit to whatever that intention might be.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. That is kind of fun. I love watching how the universe does that, where it's like technically supposed to last for a certain amount of time, and then, it'll be gone when it's supposed to be gone, because there's always
Right.
that. Oh
It'll be
yeah,
there
I
2
have
weeks later.
yeah, I have temporary
There's
test
purpose,
on
yeah.
for a month now.
I know it. My mom told me one time, she's like, it's on in 2 weeks. I'm like, are you showering? She's like, I'm showering. I don't know what it is. So you never
so
know.
funny. I love it. I love it. That's really cool, actually. What a beautiful concept too, because I know I know some people do the like string on their finger or whatever, but I don't know. I never really liked that idea. So it was just like, okay, a reminder on my phone, but now the reminders are getting aggressive. I don't know. So
Exactly. Totally. It's like, I don't want to breathe right now.
I know. I don't want another notification. Thank you.
I just want to take a glance at it, and
Yeah.
now's the time to reset. So
Yeah.
And they look
Really
beautiful
cool.
as well. It's nice when you have a reminder that's just like
Yeah.
visually, aesthetically pleasing as well.
it is,
It's really
it's
fun.
fun. It's fun.
I love that. That's so cool. That's so cool. Oh goodness. Well, so then you shared a little bit when you were talking about the LumenKind thing, but like what did it look like? When did you first even start thinking about mindfulness? Because I know that's such a prevalent topic in every day. Everyone's like, oh, I need to have mindfulness, and everyone has their version of meditation. And I know, my journey to my practices looked very different than Ashley's, and we even have different, daily practices. But what was kind of your gateway drug, as it were, to,
Yeah.
because like I know
That's
that everyone's entry into mindfulness practices, I feel like, is so different and unique, but yours birthed this really beautiful like thing. So I don't know, I'd love to hear what that looked like.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, I have my practice now, and it looks very different than what my mindfulness practice looked like. When I think, gosh, it's probably 10 plus years now. And I'll tell you, it actually, just as you're asking that question, I'm like, wow, what was really kind of the impetus for all of this? And I know that over a 10-year period, it's kind of like, it's a little arc that's going up, or a little ramp that's kind of like, okay, I'm going to try it this way. And gosh, that didn't really work for me. I'm going to try it this way. I'm going to try it this way, until finally I feel like, this is a part of who I am. This is my life. Like I have a daily ritual, a daily practice that feels really good for me. And I know everybody's very different, right? And that's why this is the creation that I've made is really an additive to whatever you're doing. So it fits within whatever. But for me personally, that first experience, I think it had to do probably with my husband, Dale, who is very aligned and helps me in a lot of ways, and LumenKind too. But I think he sparked the journey initially of like, hey, like, why don't we try to do this? Or let's go to yoga class, or practice this. Maybe we should try Tai Chi, which I have yet to do, but I'm excited to try. And so I think that was the beginning, probably 10, 12, 15, the years fly by. What year is it right now? But yeah, a while ago, but I think it started with just kind of okay, we'll try this, like plug in my ears and listen. I think we were doing binaural stuff at the time. But yeah, thank you for that question. I'm like, I gotta go really remember what I.
Right. Well, because I feel like it's so different for everyone, like some people, yoga started it. Other people, it was journaling, I think. I mean, I realized, okay, I don't even know what Ashley's answer would be. I kind of know what your practices are now, sort of, but I don't know I know for me, it was yoga. Actually, I think a booty yoga class. And then that led to yoga, which then led to meditation and yin yoga, right? But it was booty yoga of all things.
That's exactly right. That's everybody's got their own path. So that's cool.
Yeah. What was yours, Ashley? Are you there? I don't know if she can hear us.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just thinking right now, I'm like, oh gosh, I hope my connection is not like messing up the video right now.
No, not at all. You just had a really nice expression on your face, and I was like, wait, can she hear me?
Yeah, I know. I was like, can they hear me too? I'm not sure. For me, I think well, I guess for all of us, a combination of things, but like part of it was just experiences in nature and like traveling and just like being in awe of just how like marvelous the world is. But also like for me with yoga, I was kind of like dragged to a class by my brother, who, if you meet my brother, you would never think that he would be the one to get me into yoga. But yeah, we went to a class and he was like doing handstands against the wall in the back and was like, yoga's so fun, you can do handstands. And I was like, oh, this is actually like, feel really good after this. I think it's something I want to get into. So yeah.
I love that. Oh goodness. It is usually, I feel like, those unexpected things that lead to it,
Yeah, stumble into it.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like this leads to my other question, because I feel like being an entrepreneur and a female entrepreneur, especially if you then have like a family, whether that's a partner or kids or whatever, there's this ongoing conversation of balancing entrepreneur life with staying connected and centered and grounded, right? There was the Yahoo CEO that wrote the book about it, and then the one who had twins and quit everything. And there's always a conversation about balancing that, right? But I was thinking about that and I was like, your company is based around mindfulness. Like, what does it look like as the entrepreneur, also encouraging people to be mindful and like have time for a personal life? What does that actually look like for you? Because I know I struggle. There'll be like 5 days of 10, 12-hour days. And I'm like, have I seen the sunshine? I don't know. So.
That is a brilliant question. And it's kind of backwards for me in a way, or I've chosen for it to be backwards, in that I believe, and I can see reflected in the work of LumenKind and where we end up and what we end up connecting with, that this business is first about me being LumenKind, right? Like being the brighter being. And so one of the things that has been huge this, I guess it's been over a year now, but it's felt like really this year clicked in. And that is the original idea behind LumenKind was not just to put one product out and have that kind of movement. I really wanted it to be more of this monthly experience, right? So we'd have like a community of people who are tapping into whatever their own intentions are on their own journey, but more importantly, being able to know that there's a community of people out there who are also setting an intention with you, even if you're not spending time doing that or whatever. So the reason why I love it and why it's reflective, or I think response to what your inquiry is around, how do you keep the balance of personal life and being mindful and business, is that I've now integrated the business into my life, right? Into who I am. So every month we have an intention that we set. And the suggested intention this month is I am true to myself. And for me, align is the word. So I'm aligned. I'm aligned in not only what I'm saying, but who I am. I'm making sure that I'm kind of connecting all of that. And I am living it. And this is talking to you guys an example of it. Right? Just being able to express myself in a way that's really true for what's in my heart. And that isn't always comfortable. It's a place of challenge, but I'm sticking into it. And so, but for me, it's, you know, every month now I have a community of people, tiny and growing and awesome, but something that is huge for me because it requires me to participate in a way. And it's such a gift. It is such a gift. And so every month, last month in April was forgive. And so the entire month had my forgive marks on and really honed in on that idea, that concept of how I can be more compassionate, where I might need to ask for forgiveness. And so now this month, as I'm stepping into May, it's all about like, okay, like what around, like, how is my experience most true to me? How is it not? How might I reconcile that? So I don't know if that really speaks to work-life balance, but that's why I was saying it's kind of this backwards thing of like, first I'm taking my own vitamins, if you will. I'm living into this brand. I'm doing this work first. And then by way of that, my senses and what I can see in the business and the way that it grows is that, that we start to, I guess, resonate or vibrate or whatever the words are that feel good in a way that connects us with the people who want to be on this journey. So so it's kind of like it's like a big smush pot of all things instead of work and life. It's just
yeah ends up being all the things. That's really cool. It's just making me think about so many things. Oh goodness. Yeah. So then with that, if you were to give someone like 3 tips, I have never really done mindfulness, but life feels crazy and stressful, you know? Because like obviously too, you know, with your heart behind starting LumenKind, I can only imagine like the books you've read and, you know, the research on, okay, what is it that actually helps people build mindfulness habits, right? Because it's a habit. It's like learning to train your nervous system to figure out how to actually center back in. And I feel like it's interesting too, because listening to you talk, I'm like, I know there have been so many times when, you know, you have that friend or for yourself, you know, that something being more mindful would be very good for you, but there's that internal resistance of like, oh no, I don't want to do that. But like, what would be 3 things you would tell someone, you know, like, okay, just to get started, get your feet wet on, being mindful?
So the first thing I would say, and I haven't thought of the next 2 yet, so we'll see what comes next. The first thing that comes to mind is that we often think, especially now that mindfulness is everywhere, it's like in the media and it's like this, you do it this way and you do it that way. And there's like, you try out this and there's this app and there's just a gajillion different things to allow yourself to realize that it doesn't have to be a 20-minute seated thing. Mindfulness is right now taking a deep breath and letting it out. Like it can start with that. So I think about it kind of as a, you know, like if you've ever been like to a stream or a creek bed or something, and my sister-in-law has a ranch with a little stream that goes through it in Oregon. It's beautiful. And so one day we were out there and we were visiting her and we wanted to reroute the stream. And so we took little rocks and we just kept piling them and we rerouted this little stream, this river, in a way that was, you know, pretty profound, but we did it over an entire day of little rocks piling up. And I feel like that's my first, you know, tip is that you don't get to build the beaver dam where, you know, you've got the pole pool thing first. Your first step is just take a rock, just one rock, one stone. And that might just be taking a deep breath and letting it out, and just listening to your shoulders relax, listening to what's around you. So don't make it a big deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is a big deal by just taking one step. So that's the first thing. I think the second thing around mindfulness that for me has been important is having, even if it's a personal practice, which it is, having a buddy in that in some way, even if they're not the person who's sitting next to you doing it. They could be online. They could be, somebody you don't even know, right? There's lots of places for that. But having some group or person or some connection, your pet even, right? Like, I don't know, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a plant, just something that's allowing you to have some other connection, because it's, as simple as it sounds, there, as you mentioned earlier, and we all experience, life can get really crazy. And so to have some centering energy, some centering force outside of you, especially as you're building that practice and you're figuring out which routines, like I said, it took 10 years for me to really feel like, this feels like my daily thing. And watch, I'll need to change it pretty soon, right? But like, there is this like process of getting rooted into whatever your practice is. And I feel like there's benefit to having some other energy in that exploration with you. So that's my second thing. My third thing is that it can be fun, like it can be joyful. And I think that a lot of times, like, meditation's very serious and calm. And yes, it can be really serious and calm and quiet and peaceful, which can be really lovely, but it also can be joyful and light and fun. And, I think that is, it's maybe more of a I don't know if misconception is the right word, but just a different perspective that I like to offer, to know that it can be fun. I'm not saying it will always be, right? Like, but I do think that there's a way to bring lightness to it if you want to approach that perspective. So those are my three things. I think they're tips.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think so. That's helpful too, because it's like, even the last one, on it'd be fun. Like, how many times, Ashley, have we tried to get specific friends in Austin to go with us to yoga or do some things, but their initial experiences of yoga or meditation spaces were so intense and like, you're doing it wrong, that they were like, I don't want to go back.
Totally.
So actually, like, letting it stay fun, I think, is
Stay
so
light.
powerful. Yeah. Any thoughts, Ashley? I know that we've got only a few minutes left before IG Live cuts us off. But well, where can we? Yeah. Where can we send people to find you if they want to go, like, get a subscription and get the monthly marks, because they get to pick what their monthly thing is, right?
Yeah, so the way the membership works is that we have our little intention packs, and I don't know if you can see this card. So this one's for this month, the Align, which is the ones that I have on. And so you can choose to do the membership, and what happens is we'll have an intention that we suggest, and we can send that out to you without you having to press any extra buttons, or you can go in and like pick out of our whole library. Yeah, whichever ones you want. So at least that's the way it is right now, just all evolving and growing, but excited to have more people with me as we explore. And we're at LumenKind.co. So
love it. Keep
it simple.
Yeah, I'll make sure and post that when we post this on Instagram and YouTube. So awesome. Oh goodness. Well, I'm going to push stop, unfortunately, here in a second, but it's been so beautiful having you and everybody listening. Again, it's LumenKind.co. This is Natalie, and I will post the link as well.